This is a direct continuation of my last video on Sacrificial Princess and the King of Beasts. Video is in the top right corner. Even though the king already held a banquet for royalty and nobility, not all of them could attend the banquet, and one of them now wants to meet Sariphi. He also proposed to make that a test for Sariphi to become the queen. Then we learn the name of the guest, which is Duke Galois. Princess Amit immediately told Sariphi everything she knew about Duke Galois. She told Sariphi that he is a legendary general. His ruthless tactics on the sea have earned him the nickname Galois the Sea God. Amit also mentioned that Duke Galois hates humans. Then Jormungand asked Anubis if all of this was his plan, but Anubis denied everything. Jormungand also mentioned that making a human lady host a banquet is practically inviting her to blunder. Then Anubis implied that Sariphi's existence might become king's death someday, and vows to eliminate her before that happens. After that, Sariphi asks the king if the duke was really scary, to which he replied that he hasn't met him before, but if something displeases him, he might even turn his sword against his king. The king also promised to not let him lay a hand on Sariphi. So Sariphi told him that she will do her best. After a while, Duke Galois finally reached the royal palace. As soon as Duke Galois reached the gate of the royal palace, Chancellor Anubis greeted him. But he wanted to meet the king's favorite, in other words, Sariphi. So Anubis told him to wait, as she will join them soon. Then, one of the duke's servants offered wine as a gift. After that, Sariphi finally came and greeted the duke. The duke suddenly got angry after seeing Sariphi, a human. At first, he refused to believe that a human was the queen, but then the king came and assured him that this was no joke, and Sariphi is indeed his future queen. But then the duke started disrespecting Sariphi, so the king got angry. But Sariphi somehow diffused the situation. Then, Sariphi started showing Duke around the palace. After that, they decided to eat. Then, the duke again got angry and started insulting Sariphi, so the king got very angry. But Sariphi again diffused the situation by apologizing. Then, while talking to Sariphi, the king realized that she truly is far stronger than him. The king licked off the food on Sariphi's face and left. The king told Sariphi to show all of them that he was right to choose her. Then Sariphi asks the duke for a dance, but he refused. But after learning about the ordeal or test, Duke allowed his servant to dance with Sariphi in his place. Then the old servant asks her if she was hesitating to touch his hand because of his looks. But Sariphi's answer surprised him. She told him it was because you look like you must be in so much pain. Then he explained that he received those wounds over a century ago. After talking for a while, the old man implied that Sariphi has fallen in love with the king, which made Sariphi blush. Then the duke interrupted the dance by attacking his servant. Then he tries to kill the servant, but Sariphi blocks him. He advises Sariphi to move, but she stood her ground. Then the duke implied that she cannot become a legitimate queen if she fails this test, and he has her fate in his hands. So she apologized to the king and said, "It looks like I can't be your queen after all." The duke was surprised to see that she gave up her power and status to save his old servant. Then Sariphi mentioned that if she becomes queen like this, she might have to leave the king someday, and she wants to become someone who can stand by his side with her head held high. Then Sariphi asks the duke if he was really the sea god. Then the king saved Sariphi from Duke's attack, and surprisingly, the old servant blocked the duke's attack with just one hand. Then we learn that the old man is the real Duke Galois, and he explained why he carried out that plot. Well, he wanted to test Sariphi as the next queen. Then he implied that he was prepared to face any punishment, but he begged the king to spare his men's lives. Then Sariphi asks the king, "Do we really need to punish them? I mean, I'm not hurt or anything." Then the fake duke asked Sariphi if she was angry, as he said a lot of awful things about her. But she replied, "But you didn't mean it, did you?" But the king decided that punishment was necessary for deceiving the king and insulting his beloved. Then the king ordered them to swear perpetual allegiance to him as their punishment. And Duke Galois happily accepts the punishment and swear allegiance to the king. And he also mentioned that they will protect and support their future queen Sariphi. Then the king requested Sariphi to never say, "I can't become your queen," or something like that ever again. He also explained that he wants Sariphi to be his queen and his wife, which made Sariphi blush.